Good day, Tamers. Welcome back to some more fun with me, Guido Swiftly. Now, it's going to be a bit controversial because people don't like putting labels on things. But, I say this with a big booty, but BT16 could be the Edison format of the Digimon Card Game. Now, what I mean by this is, it's one of these weird formats that's just massively open and like a good, like 6 to 10 decks could actually be really good and be the best deck in the format, while also not being the best deck in the format. Now, we have quite an interesting thing here where I believe Yu-Gi-Oh! Didn't have one at the time, where we can look forward to Japan and we can go, oh, these are the best decks in the format, this is what we want to do, this is how we're going to make them better. Oh, we're watching Japan basically play our game for us, and then we can innovate to the point where deck A is the best deck. As of next year, no, that's not happening anymore. You've got to do your own deck building. You've got to be your own smart people. That being said, though, I honestly think that BT16 will be our Edison, because looking through everything, there's so many good decks that just sit around and they can do aggression, control, aggro. They can slow down the game, they can speed up the game, they can just jump in, they can be aggro while also being controlling. The Valkyrie deck, the good Valkyrie deck, you know, the whole thing about that deck is if you have like free memory, you're going to go up into Valkyremon on your opponent's turn, and then you just wipe their board, or at least wipe some things off their board, because DP reduction, all the aggro it brings, all the memory gain it gives, DP increase and reduction, it's a very good deck. The Dark Ripple, Pilgrim Online, Ripple and Pilgrim, I prefer Ripple than Dark, has like a proper level 5 and has a proper play now, where if you get super lucky on your draws, which, heart the cards, you can now swing once and then never stop swinging, because you don't stop. Because as long as there's enough memory, which there should be, you can swing enough times to make your opponent fall over and cry. So, even that's just 2 decks, not even the best decks. They're probably not even the best decks. They're probably like the tier 2 decks that are still going to do really well. You know, we've got Vaccine that's doing really well at the moment. That can essentially go from level 3 to level 6 in, like, one memory. We've got Magnaforce coming out soon, which basically says, I'm going to ignore you, or if you try and interact with me, you're going to have a hard time. Don't hit me in security. One of my level 4s in there will just de-digivolve me or you, and if that's the case, I'll de-digivolve and put myself into armor form, and then it's just another house of ass-kickery. We have access to, essentially, the Grumine is still very good. Greymon is still a very decent deck that can still do things if he wants to do. BT16 is the movie stuff. A lot of people can get access to the promos, which were given out at the cinemas or movie theatres for you guys over across the pond, as well as in your locals, if you got lucky enough to have locals that was able to bring in stuff. And then there are obviously a few other decks that are in the format. Mirage hasn't been hit, really. It's still very good. Shine is still a very good deck. Luger's getting its more support to be very good. Machine's very good at the moment. The new X-Antibody Police Force deck is very good. We go into BT16. Doraemon gets really good. And that's the thing, like, there's a lot of stuff that comes out in BT16 that's coming out now in 15 and currently for 14. Essentially, it's a reboot of the game. And there's so many good decks out there. I mean, look at some of the stuff that's out now. I know EX6 becomes even its own set of like powerhouses, and it's going to be more of a pain. But I do really think that Edison format for us will be BT16. And again, just having such a diverse format where one deck isn't going to be like the tier 1 deck is going to be such a fun feeling to have, that you can walk into an event and go, this deck is good, that deck is good, that deck is good. And sometimes it's going to be a case of like, whoever builds the best deck is going to be the best. Whoever just draws the luckiest is going to be the best. And I know people don't really like luck, but to be fair, card games are 50% luck, 50% skill. And you can say how you feel about it all you want. If you draw the wrong card or you mulligan the wrong hand, that's a luck issue. That's not a skill issue. A skill issue is having a way to win and you farting at yourself, not knowing what to do, and then passing turn and your opponent kills you from 6 security. Which may happen in this format with Luger and all that. I do want your opinions. I want to know how you guys feel. I don't know if you guys feel like the same, that we do have formats like Yu-Gi-Oh does. I do feel like we've had a GOAT format. I feel like BT5 was our GOAT format, so you can argue that as much as you want. Speaking personally though, like Rookie Rush was a really good deck at the time. If you want a bit more like control aggro, we had Lord Nightmare. Shoutmon had like a really good matchup into Lord Nightmare, which is obviously good to see. Lord Nightmare was good into Rookie Rush. The green deck that was green control was also really good at the time. I think else was like D Brigade was actually fairly viable at the time as well. I think there's a few decks around that had, so you got aggro, you got control, you got aggression, you got battle control. Like you've got like 4 or 5 different decks that they were really good. And then I'd say like our Reaper format was probably like BT7, because I think hybrids just came in and they like really changed how the dynamics of how you're allowed to think about how games are won changed again. So I do think we've had like a bit of a long leap between our Reaper and our Edison format. I don't think we really had a dad format, to be fair. I don't think there was a format where like we had like one good deck and it was the only deck that could really win formats, because we had like a really weird time with BT8, like from BT8 to like BT11, where Black or Grey was kind of like this really cool deck in the format, but it was never really a dad deck. And then it just turns out that in BT11 that Minerva was like the best deck because X Hearts has was a really good mechanic. But then you can think about like, well, from BT12 we had Shine Grey, which is really good. We had Red Hybrid that's been really good. Obviously it's coming back now with a fashion because Yukamon can take over the breeding area, which is something they never really had to do before. And then obviously, turn 2 they can get the egg back out again, so turn 3 they can start swinging again with another egg. And that's the chip damage that they needed just to sort of push themselves forwards, as well as having access to essentially 2 different good tamers, with possibly more on the way with the new reveals from BT17. And that's kind of thing. I don't know if BT17 could also be another Edison type format where it's going to be one of these things where like the decks are going to be just so diverse but so good at the same time. But I do feel kind of worried because of EX6 possibly messing around with things. I have seen a few Japanese lists online already saying like just showing like how good the yellow stuff is already in that deck. The was it like the Shakamon deck? Like apparently that's just super oppressive. Like you're walking with that, you throw down your stuff, it's like, alright, I can't do anything about it, I can't swing for anything, and then I just don't get to play the game. And that's going to be an issue, I think, for a lot of people trying to walk into a format like that. So EX6 could basically be another format where it's really awkward, whereas BT16 is just like a really fun format for a lot of people. And then we look at BT17, it looks really fun so far, but at the same time, if they put too much powerhouses on certain cards, it's going to be a case where it could be a bit of an overall powerhouse and overall standings that's going to suck to play against. But I think BT16 is going to get slept on for a little bit. I think a lot of people are going to look at it, it's going to be really painful. It's going to be like, oh, this sucks. We do need to find like a good regional around anywhere in the English-speaking world where we have a regional for BT16, and we have to look at it and be that's like, is this the regional where we didn't really know what we were doing, we didn't really understand how to build these decks correctly, and like this deck won, but in all reality, like these other decks should have been better and doing better. And I want your opinions on this. I think this is a good topic for us to speak about, because we don't always get to have diverse metas. We just get to have whatever is given to us. Sometimes it's a case of, Bandai will just hand us a format and go like, all right, we banned all these cards for you, play. And it's a case of like, well, you've banned a card that was okayly strong, but not necessarily like oppressively strong because it's upset Japan, but we've not got a chance to touch it. Plus, also, we have all these other cards that Japan doesn't have access to currently because you've banned those in Japan. We haven't banned them here yet. But unfortunately, since they've been banning a lot of things at the same time for us, it's been very awkward since BT10. But then again, as of next January, we should all be becoming one in the world, and it'll be quite interesting to see how they actually deal with ban lists. Are we going to all just become one big format, which would make things easier for Bandai, especially in the situation with all the card games they've currently got going out now with Battle Spirits, Battle Spirits, Digimon, One Piece, Union, the other Battle Spirits, which is Japanese only. I feel like there's another one. Maybe I'm wrong. Dragon Ball Fusion. So yeah, they're like super busy. So I think them becoming one is better for them because it means they'd have to have as many people like look over like the English format, Japanese format. I do wish to advertise as a whole for the English meta rather than just like, oh, America, don't forget to do your online regional soon. It's coming up in a month's time. While forgetting that OPE was holding a Ultimate Cup the same day or the day before. It's like, hey, it'd be really nice if you advertise for like the other regions, you know. I feel like Oceania kind of gets a little bit more love, and I feel like Latin America also gets a bit more love, whereas Europe does kind of get just kicked around a bit more. I mean, I'm just saying that probably more. I'm more biased because obviously I'm European, but I do notice that. Let's say, for instance, like America has a regional on the Saturday, and we have a regional on the Sunday. 9 times out of 10, Monday or Tuesday, you'll see what came out in America. And go like, oh, here's like the top 8 decks from America. And then maybe like a week later, you'll go like, oh, here's Europe. Really diverse format, but we don't want to show you because America did theirs first. It's like, okay. I think we had one where it was like Europe was the Sunday, and then Japan, then NA was like the Saturday after. They didn't show anything for the English, the European one. Then it was the American ones on the Saturday. Showed the American stuff on the Tuesday, and then the following Tuesday after that they showed the European one. It was like, it's been like 3 weeks. No one cares anymore. It's a different. I think it was like BT13 into like BT14. So it's like, yeah, no one cares anymore because we've already done the format. We're now in a different format. Ooh. You Americans and your Mirage Galgamon are like 7 out of your 8 spaces, and I think like Bialzi was 3rd. That one Bialzi player, he's very good. Whoever he may be, may or she be, or they be. But yeah, how do you guys feel about formats? Like we warp a format kind of thing. So I think we have those. I think if you go back and you want to play like the GOAT format, I think BT5 would be the GOAT format. I think BT7 would be our Reaper. And BT16 would be our Edison. But what do you guys think? This is just a nonsense video, just to try and get something done, because you guys obviously miss my deep, sultry voice. But yeah, peace out, Tamers. We'll see you guys soon. Hopefully for some real videos and some hard-hitting bearded facts. Alright, see you guys soon. Love you all.